Okay, so today we're going deep into the world of TCM and infertility.
Sounds intense.
It is fascinating stuff. And, I've been getting so many questions about this lately.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic.
It is. And, I have a feeling you might be personally interested in this too.
Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in and see what these materials have to say about TCM and specifically its approach to infertility using herbal medicine.
Okay, let's dive in.
So one of the first things that really struck me was this concept of key blockages.
Ah, yes.
Key
Sure.
sounds kind of mystical almost, right?
It does have a certain mystique to it, but it's actually a core principle in TCM.
Right. So how does this key stuff relate to infertility?
Well, TCM views infertility as potentially stemming from these key blockages or imbalances in the organ systems.
Okay, so it's not just about the reproductive organs themselves.
Exactly. It's about the whole system working together, and particularly the spleen and liver play a crucial role here in TCM.
The spleen and liver, not the ovaries or anything.
Well, those two, of course. But in TCM, the spleen is responsible for transforming and transporting nutrients, and the liver ensures the smooth flow of qi and blood throughout the body.
So if those organs are out of whack, it can impact fertility.
That's the idea. If your spleen is deficient, for example, it might not be providing the reproductive organs with the nourishment they need.
So it's all connected.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And this is where herbal medicine comes into play.
Right, because herbal medicine is a huge part of TCM.
Absolutely. It's one of the cornerstones of TCM treatment.
And how does it actually work for infertility?
Well, TCM practitioners use specific herbs to address those underlying imbalances we talked about, like strengthening the spleen or regulating liver qi.
So they're not directly targeting the reproductive system?
Not necessarily. It's more about restoring balance to the whole body so everything can function optimally, including the reproductive system.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of herbs are we talking about here? Give us some examples.
Sure, there are so many. But some common ones include dengue and bai shao, which are often used to nourish the blood, and herbs like shang fu and wu yao, which can help regulate qi flow in the reproductive system.
Wow, there are so many herbs to keep track of.
I know it can feel overwhelming, but that's why seeing a qualified TCM practitioner is so important.
Right, because they'll know which herbs are right for each person.
Precisely. They'll create a personalized herbal formula based on your unique constitution.
Okay, now that's something I wanted to ask about, this unique constitution thing.
Right.
It sounds very TCM.
It is. It basically means they take into account your individual body type, your energy levels, your emotional tendencies, even how you react to the seasons.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
Definitely not. It's about tailoring the treatment to your specific needs.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do they figure out all this stuff about your constitution?
Well, they'll do a very thorough evaluation.
The source mentioned an hour-and-a-half consultation.
Yep. It's pretty in-depth. They'll ask you about your menstrual cycles, your digestion, your sleep, your emotional well-being, all sorts of things.
Wow, they really dive deep.
They do. And they might even look at your tongue and feel your pulse.
Your tongue.
Yeah, believe it or not, your tongue can reveal a lot about your internal state in TCM.
Fascinating. So
Yeah.
after all that, they come up with your personalized herbal formula.
Exactly. And they often work with reputable herb suppliers like Kamwo to ensure quality and safety.
Combo. I think I've seen their store in Chinatown.
Yep, they're well known for their high-quality herbs.
So it's reassuring to know they're taking that aspect seriously.
Absolutely. And it's not just a one-time thing either. They'll have you come back for follow-up consultations every few weeks to adjust the formula as needed.
That makes sense because our bodies are constantly changing.
Right. And what worked a few weeks ago might need tweaking.
And is all that included in the initial cost?
Yeah, usually it's all part of the package.
That's good to know. I was curious about, whether there are any specific cases where TCM and herbal medicine help someone conceive after failed IVF treatments.
That's a good question. While specific case studies aren't always included in these types of materials, the emphasis on that 3-month time frame for both egg and sperm maturation stood out to me.
3 months.
Yeah, it takes about 3 months for both eggs and sperm to fully mature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And TCM practitioners really emphasize that time frame because it highlights their long-term approach.
So they're not looking for quick fixes.
Not at all. It's about addressing the root causes of infertility and supporting the body's natural processes.
Which takes time.
Exactly. It's about giving the body the support it needs to function optimally over time.
So for those listening, if you've been struggling with infertility and maybe haven't found success with conventional treatments, this deep dive is hopefully giving you some food for thought.
Definitely TCM offers a whole different perspective, and it might be worth exploring further.
You could open up new possibilities?
No. Absolutely. And at the very least, it encourages us to think outside the box and consider all the options available to us.
Well said. And who knows, maybe you'll find that TCM is the missing piece you've been searching for.
It's definitely a path worth considering.
All right, well, that was a fascinating deep dive into the world of TCM and its approach to infertility using herbal medicine.
It was great to explore this topic with you.
Likewise. And for our listeners, if you're interested in learning more about TCM and its potential benefits, there are plenty of resources available online and in your local community.
Don't hesitate to reach out to a qualified practitioner if you have any questions.
Exactly. And remember, everyone's journey is unique. So find what resonates with you and what feels right for your body and your path to parenthood.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.